Sacramento City leaders celebrating the latest point-in-time count, showing a dramatic drop in the number of people living on the streets. But some advocacy groups and others say the numbers are hard to believe.
After all, the last count showed Sacramento County had more homeless people than San Francisco. Now they say the number has dropped 29% from 9,000 people to around 6,600. I had a chance to talk with the mayor about those numbers. They look good on paper, no doubt that, but in reality, there will still be critics. The mayor doesn't dispute that, but today he is looking past the blame and taking this as a small victory with more work to be done.
These numbers obviously are something that the city would be happy to see, but does this mean we can sit back?
Absolutely.
Hey, things are better.
This is not a declaration of victory by any means. This is a day to take stock of the progress and to commit to continuing to do what we have been doing and even elevate what we have been doing so that we can bring these numbers down even farther.
You will still have business owners who say, this is scaring my customers away. Homeowners who say, I don't feel safe being in my home because there's an encampment right here.
Right.
So there's still a lot of work to be done in reality.
We have an obligation to provide relief to every individual who is suffering, every business that is being affected by this, and every neighborhood that is being affected by this. Now, not only do we have good and better numbers, obviously, but I think there's a sense around the city that things look and feel a little bit better and safer. Not completely, because they're still tents, but the tent encampments are not as large, and there aren't as many of them.
We know that the county, specifically the DA, has come at you hard. Have you had a chance to talk with Tianho about these?
No, I mean, I met with the DA many months ago and offered a partnership, and he was not interested. Instead, he sued the city. But, you know, this is what I will say. In the end, all the political noise, the lawsuits, the initiatives, they do not produce a single bed. They do not produce a single housing unit. You know what does achieve all of those things? Actually working at the problem in a collaborative way.
So on that note, we had to get District Attorney Tianho's response to these numbers showing progress in the homeless crisis and take that back to the mayor.
I think our community is moving in the right direction when it comes to dealing with our unhoused crisis. The real question is, what is moving it in the right direction? First of all, in the last 7 years, under the mayor's leadership, homelessness increased by 250%. And it wasn't until 7 months ago that I sued the city that we started moving in the right direction.
So did it take
that
a
is
lawsuit?
That is factually untrue. The partnership agreement between the city and county was entered into the week before, or 2 weeks before he was even sworn in as district attorney. It's just factually untrue. So, look, spin it however you want. Today's a great day.
Now, the mayor's office actually sent me the exact timeline of the city-county partnership on tackling the homeless situation, saying it was signed in December 2022. And then you'll know DA Tianho took office in 2023.
So let's dive deeper into this. Your Sacramento County reporter Madison Keevy joins us on set now. You set out for the day-to-day response from advocates who deal with the homeless crisis on a daily basis, and you got their take on these numbers.
Yeah, so many voices here. This is one of them. You know, a celebration for city leaders is a shock for those advocates who told me that their data doesn't show a decline at all.
My first response was sort of a red flag when seeing such a high percentage decrease.
We were pretty shocked today to see the numbers be so drastically lower.
From above, the view on Sacramento's homeless crisis doesn't look like what advocates see on the streets.
We do hear that quite regularly. I just don't want to die out here.
Loaves and Fishes is a nonprofit situated in the middle of the unhoused community it was built to serve. Their data doesn't support the city's latest point-in-time numbers that show fewer people living on the streets.
We've seen folks themselves kind of losing trust, losing faith that there is going to be something different for them.
From an advocate's POV, the numbers highlight trust issues between the people they help and local government.
Recognizing that forced displacement is a strong driver of the ability for counters to count people. So people are going unseen and uncounted.
Advocates are skeptical the count is accurate because they say there are more people living on the streets than what we actually see.
And so it really splinters community in a lot of ways and causes harm in a lot of ways. And people don't disappear, they just become harder to reach.
Now, just like the point in time count on a day, all of that video that we shot for that story of people living outside was filmed by us today. And of course, we know could look different tomorrow. So when you talk about the discrepancies in the numbers between leaders and advocates, it highlights the challenge of this issue that no 2 days look the same. People move around, especially when they are living on the streets.
And I know advocates say, too, that this is exactly what puts them at odds and having trust issues with what's really happening.
Yeah. It's a huge problem when you celebrate the smallest of victories, right? So this one number, it's a positive, but obviously there's so much work to be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Madison, thanks. Let's stay on topic for a second. Elk Grove also released their point-in-time reports today, not nearly as large, but still want to share with you. This year's count marked 83 homeless people around town. That's only 2% of Sacramento County's total unsheltered population. It is up from 2022 when it was 45. But the city says it's consistent with the fact that Elk Grove is home to about 100 to 150 homeless at any given time.